Tonight on the Mike Tomlin Show, the Steelers will host their fourth straight home game for the first time in team history when the 4-1 Cleveland Browns come to town tomorrow. Coach Tomlin joins Bob Pompeani to preview that AFC North matchup and recap the win over the Eagles. Plus, we have the best sights and sounds from last Sunday, and Merril Hoge previews the Steelers' pass rush versus the Browns' ground game. The Mike Tomlin Show starts right now.
Here we go. This pass is caught, and that's a touchdown. That's the way to work. Come on. He's hit that sack. The Steelers win the football game. Let's go. Come get it. You know what it is.
This one is in the history books.
Here we go.
The Mike Tomlin Show is presented by 84 Lumber.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Mike Tomlin Show presented by 84 Lumber. I'm Missy Matthews. The Steelers are getting ready to play their first AFC North matchup tomorrow here at Heinz Field, and it's hard not to get excited for that game. But before we preview that matchup with the Cleveland Browns, let's head over to Bob Pompeani, who's with Coach Tomlin, to recap the Steelers' win over the Eagles. Bob?
All right, Missy, thanks very much. And it is, as Mike Tomlin likes to say, AFC North football. At home this week, the Cleveland Browns. And coach, just get right into this. It'll be the first trip in from Myles Garrett. The Browns played here last year, but he was suspended at the time. I know this rivalry always carries emotion. You got first place on the line, but how much more emotion does that situation bring?
You know, I don't know that it does. You're talking about the situation between he and Mason Rudolph. You know, Mason being in the role that he's in and Myles being in the role that he's in, I doubt that it's a significant component of the storyline or the matchup. It'd probably be more significant if Mason were playing quarterback for us. You know, he's got enough going on just on his resume on tangible, legitimate discussions. He's having a defensive player of the year like year. He's a sack fumbler. He's a game changer. He's somebody that has our attention from all of those perspectives as opposed to some of the reality TV storylines.
All right, let's get into the game then. And the fact there's a lot riding on this game. You guys are undefeated for the first time since '79. Cleveland hasn't had a start like this since 1994 when Belichick was running that organization. But I also want to get into what happened last week because we'll start there. This was a game that you guys put up some big points. You got tremendous contributions from a lot of different people. First, Ben Roethlisberger. His stat line and the way he's handling things is he is mentally sharp as ever in this role coming back from his surgery, and he's using his mind, it seems, and his expertise and experience to really make things happen.
There's no question he's as mentally sharp as he's ever been. But, you know, it's reasonable to expect that, you know, a guy that has the level of playing experience that he has, that had an opportunity to maybe change his perspective a year ago and to watch. And as miserable as that experience probably was for him, I'm sure it provided some perspective for him that he's utilizing back in his more comfortable and familiar role.
You were not too effusive in your praise for Chase Claypool. I imagine that was by design, was it?
Yeah, I am. You know, I'm acknowledging that he had an enormous game, but, you know, I'm acknowledging that you know, people are capable of that. I think oftentimes, man, we're in such a hurry to anoint these young men that we set them up for failure. Those that talk about their freakish talents and stuff can't wait to also talk about their failures. And so I just want to prepare him for that. The NFL and the professional sport climate is a harsher climate than college football, and that's been his experience. And so South Bend, Indiana might have been a nurturing environment from that perspective. I want him to have an understanding about the challenges that he faces in the National Football League.
Well, you're getting contributions from a lot of guys without the benefit of a preseason schedule to play. Another one is Ray McLeod. What has he done to move himself into a position where he's getting more and more opportunity? And, you know, McLeod left Philadelphia in a cloud of dust on that 58-yard run. What makes him so good at this point for you?
You know, the interesting thing, and you mentioned the lack of opportunity to learn and or display talents, you know, because of some of the lack of availability at his position at the early portions of the week. You know, Juju has missed some practice time over the course of the season. Deontay has missed some practice time. It provides extra reps and legitimate reps for a guy like him. And during the course of that time, he's utilized those reps to get better and have more detail in his game. But it's also given us as a staff as an opportunity to learn more about him and the better ways to utilize his talents. And so I mean that when I say one man's misfortune is another man's opportunity, and not only applies for in-stadium action, but can apply for a practice standpoint perspective as well.
Let's talk about the defense, because once again, you guys put up numbers when it comes to sacks, but there were third down conversions and plenty of them. Strategically, what happens on those third downs, and specifically that Eagles game that allowed them to have success on third and especially long?
It's popcorn. We're just not quite sharp yet. We're not, we haven't come together with that level of cohesion that will allow us to be great. We're taking steps. I'm seeing signs of it, but we're not there yet. And third down performance from last week is an indication of that. It was popcorn. In some instances, it was coverage let down. In some instances, it was rush lanes and so forth. I thought the big draw was significant. We had started the game in 2 consecutive 3-and-outs and had them in a third and long. And, we really ran a pressure right into a draw. The fact that they called the draw was somewhat give-up football, and we could have really controlled the game. And that big play kind of changed the perspective of those moments and allowed them to catch some rhythm and created issues for us for the remainder of the day. And we had, 2 would-be tacklers at the point of attack that didn't make the play. So, it's something to be learned from these experiences. It's good to win while you do learn.
No question about that. Easier to correct the problems. When we come back, Coach Tomlin will talk about the Cleveland Browns. They've won 4 in a row. The Steelers have won 4 in a row, and it should set up for being a great Sunday here at Heinz Field. We'll do that when we return. Right now, back to Missy Matthews.
Thanks, guys, and congratulations to wide receiver Chase Claypool, who had a 4-touchdown performance against the Eagles. That won him the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Coming up next on the Mike Tomlin Show, we give you an inside look to the Steelers' win over Philly. And you don't want to miss Merril Hoge's playbook breakdown of the matchup he'll be keying in on tomorrow. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Mike Tomlin Show, presented by 84 Lumber. Here's some of the best sights and sounds from the Steelers' 4th win of the season.
No one said the 2020 season would be easy. That's why the Steelers preached to stay light on your feet.
It's time to perform, man. We got a little family right there. Let's go be the best in the world. Let's go show out, make plays, and win this game. Playmakers on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Let's go.
A premature bye week pushed the Steelers game with the Titans back to Week 7, turning their attention to their cross-state rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles. The 79th matchup between the Eagles and Steelers was met by a comforting sight.
Steeler Nation, welcome back. Let's get it.
Man, come on now. We got some fans back in here. Energy high. The battle of PA, man. Y'all stay tuned and enjoy the show.
The stage was set for a Pennsylvania State Championship game, one that would be just as unpredictable as the surrounding season.
Here's a run-up by Boswell, and the battle for Pennsylvania is underway. The big blitz, crossing route, running to the near side. James Washington running left to right. At the 2, it's 2nd and goal. Jet sweep to the left. And that is Claypool busting across the goal line for the touchdown right to left.
That is pure Canadian bacon, Chaluch.
Yeah, the Canadian bacon.
He sizzles.
The Steelers draw first blood with a jet sweep right to left. Chase Claypool, the rookie out of Notre Dame.
The Eagles would respond to the Claypool touchdown using the legs of a Pittsburgh native.
And Sanders is on his way up over the 30, the 35, the 40. Crossing midfield at the 50. Still on his feet at the 40. Inside the 20. Inside the 10. And Miles Sanders takes it 74 yards. And suddenly, we have a tie game. Back on 3rd down. Over the middle, there's Chase Claypool. Steps out of a tackle. 10, 5, touchdown for the rookie from Notre Dame. A 32-yard beauty, left to right over the middle. Hitting him in stride is Ben. And Claypool took care of the rest.
Look at that. It's too easy for him. Nice pitch and catch. No way that anyone's going to catch him in the open field.
Chase gets the ball. Goes for the goal line. Touchdown, Chase Claypool. His 3rd of the game, and that was a beauty. 4-people bunch. And Philadelphia had trouble keeping track as to who had the ball and where it was.
Great blocking by the rest of the entourage out there, getting them into the end zone.
Woo! The Eagles still had some fight in them. They just needed a big play to get them back in the game.
The pass is going to be caught, and that is a nifty grab for Travis Fulgham. He floats the pass for the end zone, a man open touchdown. And an 8-yard touchdown pass gets the Eagles back on the board. I go empty set, 3rd and goal at the 4. Wentz is back, throws it for the end zone, and that's a touchdown. And guess who? Travis Fulgham.
Got to tell you guys, I started getting a nervous gullet.
I'm getting scared.
Chase Claypool had already accounted for 3 scores so far. A 4th would be a first for a rookie since 1979, and with it, eliminating the Eagles' chances at a comeback.
Chase on 47. Chase on 47.
Here's the snap. He throws it down the field. Oh, that is Chase Claypool into the end zone for a Pittsburgh Steelers touchdown.
Yeah, I've been saying it all day. This is our 4th time saying it, but that's top shelf Canadian bacon and sizzling.
He was looking at Chase Claypool the whole time.
Earlier this week, Coach Tomlin said that AFC North ball is in the kitchen and it's hot in the North to describe tomorrow's matchup between the Steelers and the Browns. Steelers alumni Merril Hoge brought some fire of his own in his playbook this week to preview what matchup he will be watching. Take a look.
It's division time, Browns-Steelers. When you look at this matchup, the Steelers defense against the Browns passing attack, the Browns got their passing attack going week 2 with some boot action and run action. It's been a part of their passing game and it's generated some of their bigger plays. What's interesting though, the Steelers have been able to target those situations with a lot of their blitzes. So let's take a look at what the Browns have done well with their boot action and how the Steelers could target it with their blitzes. Okay, let's take a look at this boot action the Browns run. It's very similar to run action from this perspective. As we snap the ball, watch what the Browns do. They want to make this, at this point, look like run, which it does. Baker Mayfield has the ball out, back has a pocket, offensive lines, making it look like run. Now, instead of Baker Mayfield dropping straight back, he boots outside the pocket. Now, he does that, obviously, to clear and give himself a clean pocket. It allows a deeper route to be developed like they do here, and with this type of time, he's able to hit it. It's these type of plays the Browns have done very well, but the Steelers have the ability to attack from a blitz perspective. So let's take a look at that. Okay, let's look at last week. Philadelphia Eagles, Wentz under center. Let's snap the ball. Very similar look. Back has a pocket. Wentz holds the ball out. But look at Hilton, number 28. He's coming off the edge. He's blitzing. Now, if they hand it off, make the tackle. If they don't, he just heads to the quarterback. Perfect job of getting to your quarterback before he can set up and throw the football. This is one way to attack that run action, boot action. Like I said, it's one way to neutralize run action and boot action. The other way is being disciplined on the perimeter, not allowing Baker Mayfield to get outside the pocket, set up comfortably and throw it. This phase of their passing game is actually pretty good. So it'll be critical that the Steelers defense is able to neutralize this phase of the Browns passing attack.
The Cleveland Browns have lost their last 16 games here in Pittsburgh, so I'm excited to see what will happen when 2 teams who have won their last 4 games go head-to-head tomorrow. Up next, Coach Tomlin tells us what makes the 4-1 Browns so dangerous. We'll be back right after this break.
The Mike Tomlin Show is presented by 84 Lumber. Are you 84 Lumber material? Visit 84lumber.com/careers to learn more.
The Steelers and Browns split this series last season, and tomorrow will be a big one because Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cleveland are in a tight race for the division. Let's go back to Bob and Coach to talk some AFC North football. Guys?
All right, Missy, thanks very much. Cleveland comes to town. As I said at the beginning, it may be their most important regular season game in quite a long time, since 1994. But, Coach, you look at this team, and, they've always had talent, but they seem to have fortified their offensive line this year in the offseason. They've become a pretty complete group on offense. How do you stop Baker Mayfield and company?
You know, they're a balanced group. They're capable of running it, and they're capable of throwing it as well. But if you want to minimize the impact of their group collectively, you better minimize the run game. When they're running the ball and pumping that ball at you, there's nothing that you can stop. And so, we got a lot of respect for their run game. What they were doing with Nick Chubb was special, but what they're doing with Hunt also is special. Both guys are averaging over 5 yards per carry on the season. I've known Kevin Stefanski for over 15 years. I've known Joe Woods, their defensive coordinator. I worked with those guys at the Minnesota Vikings back in 2006. I know that they're fundamentalists in their approach to ball. I know that they'll have a tough group. They'll be prepared. They'll be on the details. And so the game will be waged in the line of scrimmages in a lot of areas. There are guys on the perimeter that'll get a lot of press, ours and theirs, wide outs and so forth. But what happens in the line of scrimmage is going to be significant in this football game.
Yeah, they also have some pretty good wide receivers who can go down the middle of the field and go deep. Of the guys they have there with Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry and others, how dangerous are they over the middle? What's your biggest concern with those two guys specifically? Just
their ability to explode in any moment. And they've shown that already this year. They're big play capable. They're big play capable as individuals. They're big capable as a collective. They've got good schemes. They've got a solid running game that really kind of creates a platform for the play action and misdirection passes that produce the big plays. They're a troublesome group, but the strength in the pack is the pack. Odell and Landry are tough to deal with because Hunt is tough to deal with. Hunt is tough to deal with because you better respect the talent that they have on the perimeter. And so there'll be a cat and mouse game that's going to make this fun and challenging. But such is life in the AFC North, man. We're excited about being in significant games.
What have you seen from Baker Mayfield? He's had a lot of different head coaches, a lot of offensive coordinators, and I imagine that's difficult for guys to go through different changes every year. Talk about his, maturity in time. He seems to be in control of this offense, and what has been the difference between him now and him a couple of years ago?
He has certain elements of his skill set that go beyond schematics and go beyond schemes. And his mobility, his ability to create, particularly as, plays get extended, his movement, his ability to throw on the move, are all things that he brings to whatever system he's in. And that's been evident. Stefanski is a sharp guy. I know that he's going to lean on those strengths and those talents, and the video to this point tells me that. So we got our hands full, man. This is a group that does a good job of taking care of the ball because of that balance. And they're doing a great job of taking away the ball behind the likes of Myles Garrett. So, we better take care of the ball. We better play good in the line of scrimmages, and we better work to keep a lid on it, particularly with those two wide receivers and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, they are number one in the league, I think, in takeaways. They've done that, and they've made that a big part of their game. They had a pick six last week. What's the difference defensively with them coming up those kind of plays?
They just have such a quality front. They do. Myles Garrett is playing unbelievably. Not only is he sacking the quarterback, he's creating fumbles, but he's not a one-man gang. Much like we were talking about the Philadelphia Eagles last week and the quality, talent, and depth in their four-man front, the four-down teams, man, they make a commitment to fortifying that group, and they've done the same thing in Cleveland, man. He's got Vernon opposite of Miles at the other defensive end spot. In the rotation is Claiborne, a former first-rounder, who's an experienced vet and been in this league and played at a high level for a long time. You see the same level of depth in the interior, former first-rounders like Sheldon Richardson. So, they've got high-end, top-tier talent, but they also have a lot of it. They play a lot of people, and they keep waves of fresh people running at you, and they create negativity. And they got good spot droppers and guys that good quarterback keyers on the back end that are capable of coming down with errant throws and throws that are made under duress. We've seen Ward up front and close and personal. This guy, I don't know how many picks did he have against us in his career opener, 2 or 3. Collectively, that's how they're getting it done, and it's working extremely well for them. That's why they're 4-1.
Yeah, and Ben Roethlisberger has done a really good job of protecting the football. He's on pace for just 4 interceptions. Should be a fascinating matchup coming up on Sunday. And when we come back, Mike Tomlin on Tomlinisms. Missy, back to you.
All right, I cannot wait for this discussion. My favorite Tomlinism, by the way, are excuses are the tools of the incompetent. The Mike Tomlin Show, we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. You probably have a favorite, and you probably even repeat it without even thinking about it, because I know I do the exact same thing. It is very evident when Coach Tomlin is trying to convey a message to his team or to the media. He uses it sometimes in a catchy way and also with repetition. So let's go back one final time to Bob and Coach to talk about some communication.
Hey, Missy, thanks very much. Well, Mike Tomlin was visiting with Bryant McFadden on a podcast that we heard on CBS this week. And it was interesting, Coach, because you know him very well. He knows you very well. And the topic of Mike Tomlinisms came up. My favorite is nameless gray faces. I don't know where you came up with that or how you came up with that. Number one, do you know you're going to say these before they come out? And number two, which is your favorite Tomlinism?
Oftentimes I don't. I just make a conscious effort to capture the most important elements of our culture build, the things that we hold near and dear, the things that we expectations. I try to capture them in colorful ways that players can remember. From my perspective, whatever it takes to get the message across. If they can imitate me and emulate me, then that means that they're listening and the messaging is getting home, and certain things that are building blocks for our program they buy into, such as the standard is the standard. That's my favorite. We all just need to have a mentality that the standard is the standard, and football is our game, but our business is winning. And so regardless of present circumstance, no matter what it may be or challenges that the journey presents us, I want the guys to understand that we're capable of delivering. And not only that, but we expect to deliver because we're professionals.
Well, I think they've caught on. The message has been delivered. And, Coach, thanks very much. The standard is the standard. We do appreciate your time, and good luck against the Cleveland Browns.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, that's going to do it for our program tonight. Big day of football coming at you tomorrow on KDKA TV. We've got the Browns and Steelers, pregame, postgame. Got you all covered right here on KDKA TV. And that's going to do it for our program. For Mike Tomlin and Missy Matthews, I'm Bob Pompeani. Have a great game weekend, and we'll see you after the game on KDKA.